He's CEO of a product called Whisper, and I'm just going to let him kind of take over. So this is built for it, as I was talking with him over, I think it was about Friday, we had a really good conversation for about an hour, just kind of really, we started off with the product demo and ended up on a whole lot or whole bunch of other tangents of how this product could be used really, especially for really, I think that the benefit is unlocking um, potential inventory that is not on the market. So basically off-market homes that are not listed, but potentially they are interested in selling if the right prices come along. And secondly, building your business and giving yourself a reason to call your database, which is something I know a lot of us really struggle with, is, well, I feel like I'm bugging them. I don't want to cold call. I haven't talked to this, client in a long time, or this friend or family or whoever. And this is a really good kind of way to lead into being a real estate matchmaker. I see that slogan thrown around quite a bit, but are you really? And I think that this product can really help you be that matchmaker for your clients and show what your value is. We've talked about value so many times with the changes to the buyer rep and all of that, and why it's so important to show your value when you're trying to negotiate your commission on the buyer rep agreement. This is just another tool in your belt to help you do that. So, Tom, good morning, and let's take it away.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks, Travis, for the introduction. I really appreciate that. And thanks everybody for jumping on and giving me some time and attention. I'm excited to be speaking to you today. I'll start off by kind of introducing myself. I am the CEO of Whisper, but more importantly, my wife and I are a real estate team here in San Marcos. I have spent most of my career in software and technology. I go back all the way to my time at Experian Interactive in the early 2000s. In fact, at one point, we looked at acquiring a company called House Values. If you've been an agent for 20 plus years, you may remember them. They were one of the early, really popular lead gen platforms that were out there. So I go back quite a long time. I spent a lot of time in digital marketing. And so I was supporting my wife after we got married in her efforts to try to find new business as we've moved around from California to Texas, subsequently back to California. But in that time, we were really like, how do we really help agents build the business that they ultimately want and ultimately have desired? So I'm going to kind of walk you through at a high level, who we are and what we do. I haven't done a lot of big group pitches, so please, feel free to give me feedback or how you want, but and hopefully it doesn't come across overly salesy because I will get into the product, but I want you to kind of understand the rationale behind it as well as what we're working on. So I'll kind of open this way, and it's really a rhetorical question. I ask this of a lot of individual agents: why did you get into real estate? And while I'm speculating here, it's probably for one or more of the following reasons. Your ability to make great money is one. People see that, hey, I can do real estate. There's a good big paycheck if I can be successful. Two is probably some form of a work-life balance. And the reason why they believe that is because they probably have, they know an agent who's a family friend. They've grown up around an agent who saw them at the point in their career where they were basically a referral only agent, right? They're picking up the phone, someone's calling them, hey, I need you to help me find a house, or hey, I need you to sell my house for me. They weren't doing a lot of proactive, like hitting the ground, cold calling a million times, trying to get folks. You're like, well, I see that. That seems real simple. Like, yeah, of course I'd love to do that. And I don't think there aren't many people who wouldn't want the business that they desire, whether it's 200,000 in gross commissions, 500,000 a million, whatever the number is. There's a number that makes people say, I'm done. I'm good with that business. And I've kind of got the conveyor belt going. So we thought about that and said, okay, well, if that's the ideal, and that's what we want people to do, can we accelerate and help agents get up there fast, right? Can we get you to the referral based business? And that was really the genesis of Whisper. So really, I guess probably the answer or the next question I ask is, I'm again speculating. Probably all of you haven't yet realized that dream. Because if you had, you'd probably be like, I'm good. I don't need to go to these meetings on Monday morning. I'm just cruising. I don't need to worry about this. I don't have it. And I'm living that dream already. But because you're on this call, I'm guessing that there's something you're still looking to help you with your business as you go forward. Obviously, the information that Paul provided around mortgage interest rates, Travis giving you some more support and thinking about, hey, How do we help you get more business? We want to keep you up to speed so you have information for your clients. That's all great, but it's always in an effort to help you get more out of it. So what Whisper does is it's going to immediately give you this business. And how it does it is we're a transformational platform. We're in a network of agents. That's kind of a critical element. And we're going to open referrals for unlisted pre-market deals for you. And we call these unlisted pre-market deals whispers. Okay. And what we do is we use an eHarmony style matching engine and we match agents with each other. So our network and our marketplace is not for consumers, it's only for agents. And our technology is going to anonymously unlock pre-market inventory from your own sphere of influence, bring it to other agents, and then it's going to match you with another agent who has the opposite side. So there are other agents that are in our marketplace who've provided their spheres of influence of properties that are unlisted and buyers that are looking for homes. And we're making those matches. And then we connect you to the other agent. And the beauty of this kind of pre-market sales is, as Travis alluded to earlier, is we're eliminating that open solicitation call. Why do you want to call up 50 people a day to have them say, why are you bothering me, when you're going to tell them what Paul just said was, hey, it looks like interest rates fell 9 basis points. You thinking about selling? Pick me. It is a selling value prop. It's probably not the most compelling one you can offer them. And that's where we come in. We want to give you specific deal purpose by connecting you and the agent first. So you and the other agent first, because it's like a sip and see party up in Orange County. They run them, or even a broker's open where you're like, hey, I have a buyer looking for a 4-3 in Cardiff. Anybody know anybody out there that might be willing to sell? And you're like, oh, shoot. Yeah, I know John. Him and his wife just talked about they can't handle this place anymore. They're moving to Palm Beach or whatever. And so now there's a deal there, and now you're bringing that opportunity forward. And so when you're contacting your clients about specific pre-market buy and sell opportunities, you're kind of doing a couple of things. You're differentiating yourself and creating real value for your clients, and you're also moving and accelerating that deal timeline. And if you can get a deal, great. And if not, you're definitely separating yourself and you're moving them towards wanting to work with you as a realtor. And you're doing this and you're building this rapport in a non-salesy way. So does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions?
If you do have questions, please throw them in the chat and we'll answer them as we go, so we can all kind of wrap our heads around how we can bring this into our business and what the value really is here.
So yes, that's great. And so and then I'll kind of continue here. So I would also ask you, how many of your clients would love to learn about a property that's not on Zillow, right? Or have a discrete conversation about a buyer offering a premium price to one of your listings, right? I was just talking to a couple agents that I know here, and they were out there in oh gosh, I've just forgot the neighborhood around Carmel Valley, Del Mar area. And they said it's heating up down there. And they literally went out with several of their buyers, submitted offers. The seller had, 4, 5, 6, 7 offers in the first day, and they lost out, and they're getting frustrated. So, if you can get to your buyer or your homeowners before they decide to go to market, you might be able to find them a premium offering and still get them above market deal, but help them do it in a discreet way. Right. So imagine having thousands of properties, because we have more than 4,000 in the marketplace in Southern California, from South Orange County all the way to the border, where buyers, properties and buyers, where, just like you would at a broken open, you'd be able to kind of, talk to these folks and see if you can get a deal. So ultimately, what you're going to get with Whisper, and once I kind of go through this, then I'm going to show you the product, is you're going to get access to a nationwide database of agents, properties, and buyers that are not on Zillow. Right? You don't have to pay for this stuff. It's yours. It's your information. You're going to get no cost referrals. So you're going to get referral matches or Whisper matches, as we talked about. You're going to eliminate the cold call need, because now you have a kind of a purpose in which you're calling your agents up. You're talking about a buyer that you know of from your friend, or you're talking to your buyer about an opportunity you found that's not on the market. Okay. You're going to get access to thousands of unlisted properties and more each day. We're also going to give you the ability to bring scores of your own soy to the market as an unlisted property. And I'll show you some of the unique ways we do it so that it's completely compliant with clear cooperation. It's not an issue. It's all anonymized information. And again, it's not available for the consumers to see. And then ultimately, you're going to get additional differentiation about your brand and your ability, because the value of your network of the agents you're working with is going to create the properties and opportunities that are most relevant for you and your business. So people are going to be attracted to you because you're bringing something unique that not every other agent can. So now you really truly are networking and picking up the phone and making the calls the way that referral guy was doing business back in 1989. So with that, I'll stop here and I'm going to show the products again. If there's anyone have any questions, please let me know. I haven't seen any. Sorry, I've got a couple screens working here. So let me make sure I share this properly. There it is, share. Got it. I want to do that one. Okay.
I think Google Meet users and Zoom users are like the Apples and Androids of the universe. Like I have a hard time with Google Meet, you know. I know
Yeah.
that's what you use. Yeah.
Yeah. And I used to use Zoom quite often. Okay. Are you seeing my screen over
Yep.
here with
Yeah,
the,
you're good.
okay. Cause I couldn't
Yep.
see it on the viewer on this side.
Yep. Right
Okay.
now we see your notes. Yep.
You see my notes. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't see my, all right, let me change the
Uh,
screen. I don't want that one. I want the other one. All right, let me do this then. Sorry, this is going to look weird. I'm going to move this out of the way and move this one back in. Come on. Move this one here. How's that? Can you
oh,
see
there
it?
we go. Yep.
All right, cool. Sorry, I was hoping to use it on the other one. Okay, so what
Yep.
you're looking at here is once you're into the marketplace, and I live in North County, so this is just a snapshot of, let's say, Escondido, but I can zoom out and you're going to start seeing properties that are going to show up all over the place. We have, again, your discovery engine, just like you would in an MLS, you're going to see, oh, wow, there's lots of properties available here. None of these are on Zillow. None of these are on the MLS. Whoops, didn't mean to zoom all the way out like that. Let me zoom back in. And you're going to see a lot of these different properties here as we kind of go up the coast and again up into county, but I'm going to go ahead and show you here. Now, what we do, and this is when you're searching for a home, this is your basic discovery engine, just like you would do in an MLS. You're going to zoom in on a particular property. And what we do, and I'll go down here to these few in this little pocket over here, because this will be a good example. We anonymize the information. So one thing we do is we make sure that the address is hidden and all you're seeing is bed, bath, and square foot count. Okay. We don't share any photos. That's up to that agent who knows that homeowner, whether they're going to share photos with you, a purchase price, or an address to it. So they're the ones deciding whether you get to see that information. And then what we do, again, to protect that is that as we zoom in, you'll see the tags disappear, but we also move them to different locations all the time. So that home may actually exist over here in the neighborhood, maybe here, it may even be over there. We randomly rotate the direction and distance from where the actual home is listed, and that happens on a regular basis. I think we're on 5-minute intervals. So if you were to log out and log back in, you'd see them all in different spots. And so we do that purposely so that nobody can kind of zone in and figure out where it is. It's really to give people the idea for what neighborhoods exist and where they're at. Now, the rest of these tabs here are really about managing either your properties or what people are sharing, requesting. And I'm not going to belabor you with a long product detailed roadmap. I'm going to go right to really the two big value adds. The first one is this is the matching engine. So you're going to be able to come in here and see opportunities where Myra had a property for one of my searches for my buyer. And these are all unlisted properties. And I can look at the matching criteria. So let me take a look here. I can look at the matching criteria down here. And then the goal for me is to contact Myra and say, hey, Myra, I don't tell her who the name of the person is. She doesn't see this name. All she sees is your property's matched with Tom Gabriel, the agent over here, and let's see if there's a deal there. I can call up Myra, ask her, hey, I see Whisper ID WR922-33836. Hey, that's one that looks like it might work for my client. You know, they're kind of a new couple. What's the story here? And again, this reinforces that idea of, hey, if you know your clients and you're talking about their situation, you have some inside information about what their likelihood is to buy or sell. And that's the whole purpose. And that's what we're trying to do is give you not only a reason to call them, because now if I've already spoken to Myra, maybe she doesn't know right off the bat what's going on with the particular property. Now she's going to call and say, hey, I was speaking to my colleague Tom, he has a buyer and they got a pretty good size checkbook, right? Maybe they're unfortunately displaced from the fires up in LA. They've got some insurance payout, or maybe they just said, I'm not rebuilding, and they sold the land and they're like, but I want to stay in Southern California and I'd like to be somewhat coastal. Hey, this is a perfect opportunity for them to come in. They know that this financial situation, you know, we're trying to not only create referrals for you and opportunities for you, but also improve the certainty of close. Okay. So you're going to get to see those matches, and the goal is to connect you with Myra and manage that relationship there. The other element that's really important for us is that we have our own agent network. So you're going to get your own personal agent network of family of agents and friends that you like to work with. So we know Rise is, has a number of agents that you like here. You might not know them all. You may know a lot of them, but you may have friends that are at Coldwell or Century 21 or Berkshire or Sotheby's or Real or whatever, and you want to invite them in and bring them in. So imagine this is like a social network of all off markets. So we're doing that sip and see at scale. You get to create your own personalized tags so you can cluster the agents that you want to cluster. So maybe you have really trusted partners. Maybe you have agents who work well with first time buyers. Maybe it's VA loans. Now you can cluster them in those segments. And when you get an opportunity that fits those, maybe you have a buyer, you can know, oh, here's the 10 guys I need to reach out to right now. Let me send them a message to the email server or the chat, or let me do it. And I can do it by those tags. I can just like, oh, let me select my luxury buyers, and then boom, there they are, my luxury agents, there they all are. Let me send them a note and go from there. If you want to search the market, this is kind of a nice feature. I can literally search various agents and see what properties that they have. Again, they're hidden tags on the marketplace. I'll see all the properties here and we'll be able to see, okay, maybe I'm looking in the Santa Fe Hills area of San Marcos. Oh, wow, I see Laura's got a couple of them there. She's got some whispers that indicates somebody may be in the mood to sell. Let's go ahead and give her a call and see what the story is there. So that's another way you can discover properties. You can even discover buyers over here in this marketplace, and you can say, oh, let me see what buyers that she's got set up. Where are they at? I can even search them by various criteria. So I can say, I'm looking for buyers in the Cardiff zip code or Del Mar. Which agents have them that are active in the marketplace right now? So again, you use this, and the whole purpose is to eliminate, what am I doing every day? Let me call my agents and start my business from there. Then I reach out to my clients, not the other way around, which is how a lot of people are trained today. And then the last part of the agent network I'm going to go into is what we have is called a burn list. So this is a kind of a market force protection for you as a realtor. If there's an agent you don't like or you have had a bad experience with, you do have the power to basically withhold your information from them being able to see it. So we have filters and set up structured so that when you put them on there, you basically can hide your inventory from the market. So it's a selective thing. In ad tech world, it's a lot like a blacklist, and we kind of like it, call it burn list. Someone had mentioned burn book from, I don't know, Mean Girls or something like that. So we're like, yeah, let's bring this in. So that's the platform in a nutshell. Again, it's doing a lot of great things for agents. We're already having a lot of success. We're having a lot of deal matches. I think in December we had over 500 or 600 deals set up between the agents in our network, just in that month alone as we continue to scale up. In the first quarter, in the fourth quarter of last year, we had just about 1,500. So it just continues to go up and to the right. Our marketplace continues to be robust, especially again from Orange County down. And we like to work with folks. I'm going to stop the share so I can go back to my notes here real quick, and just kind of finish this off. So I'll open it up now for some questions, and I can kind of tell you how do you get it and how simple it is to get going, and et cetera. But do you guys have any questions that I can answer at the moment?
There's a couple in the chat. So one is, how long has this been in operation?
Okay, good question. So we launched our kind of beta users back in the springtime last year. So a prototype that launched in January of 24, because we're in 25 now. Spent the first 90 days working that. And then by the late summer, it was like, okay, let's start bringing this out to individual agents. And I was doing a lot of one-on-one selling to agents starting kind of in the mid to late summer. And then we continue to go through into the fall. So I would say it's really been hot since, let's say July 1st, just to give it a round date, and moving forward. Let's see, the average length of time on this site before they go to the MLS if not sold. So here's the interesting thing, right? It depends. Some agents are like, well, I want to do it as a test case so I can use it to, if I'm going to a listing appointment, they're going to try and talk to other agents and figure out what the demand might be for that particular property. Now, we're still a scaling marketplace, so it's probably still not quite fully like maximized across the board. But as we continue to agents, that number gets more and more refined. So that's a good way for them to say, oh, they like it, they've developed a good rapport, and then it goes to market. So I don't have real sharp data on, oh, it sits in Whisper for so many time and then it goes to MLS. Sometimes it may go to MLS and it goes up and comes right back down as they've already found a deal and they just do a single buyer seller agreement between the two agents, lock it up, close it, put it in MLS for a day, and then they're ready to rock and roll, right? Because they're like, we're already happy with the deal we have in hand. So I don't have precise metrics on that, but it just depends on the use case, which we have several different use cases for it. Some are testing the market, some are doing it before they've really got firm idea from their buyers or their homeowners that they want to be on the market. They're like, well, let me just come in with more data rather than a market trends report. Let me talk to agents who would say, if that house were available, I know we could get 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever the number is for that house.
And I know, there's some owners out there, especially like in the multiplex world, where they're not planning on really selling, but if you brought them an offer, they would, because they're always looking to, 1099 into the next best thing, right? So if they got the right price, they would probably sell. And I'm gonna guess that some of these agents within this network are putting properties like that on here as well. Like maybe they work with a lot of investors, and the investors are like, yeah, well, if the right price came along, I'd sell it. Do you see
Mhm.
that happening, or are
Yeah,
these? Yeah.
we have a very diverse mix of agents. We have some that are working with, investor types of multi-units. And I'll go back to sharing again real quick. Uh, let's go here. Yeah, we have a lot of agents who work in that world. We also have folks that are focused purely on residential, as well as commercial. So we do have a commercial division. All that's kind of a new thing, and we haven't had a lot of agents populate that up real quick. Um, but yeah, agents who are like, hey, I know that if that multi-unit owner investor would look to move, that's great. We have agents who have investors that are looking for properties. Our belief is that homeowners will sell when the right deal comes along, and buyers will buy when the right opportunity presents itself. I know Paul was talking about, the change in interest rates. We're talking about market conditions. I guess what I say is that everybody is a buyer or seller at some point, except for the people who are in their forever home. And if you really thought about the people in their forever home, that's a very small percentage. The question is less about timing, it's more about the opportunity. And this goes right into that selling message. We believe that you as agents are super, super, super powerful and super important into the ability to get deals done. But you do that because you've sourced a new opportunity. This is why it's so valuable. These aren't on Zillow. Your buyers aren't going to say, don't worry, I'll go find it on Zillow. Well, it doesn't exist there. You are now empowered to share this with them. Secondly, if someone's like, well, hey, yeah, I'll just let it rip on the market. Let's go to the MLS. You can, but at the same time, that does start to provide, hey, you're letting the world know you're ready to sell. There's a reason for that. But if you wanted to not be so public with your information about what's going on, let's check it out here first and see what's going on.
And for those of you who ever go to caravans and things like that, you probably know that that's where a fair amount of deals actually get done, is just from networking with other agents. So instead of, you know, like kind of reframe your brain a little bit on how you've been prospecting, instead of direct consumer, 50 calls a day, whatever you're doing, this is leveraging your database of buyers and going direct to agents who have potential inventory and saying, what's going to take to get this one done? Or, opening up that conversation. So now you're talking to one person with multiple properties instead of, you know, calling every single potential homeowner and cold calls. And, we did the whole TCPA thing last week, about how that's going to become even more challenging. And now you're just going direct to the source and trying to make a match there. So for me, I think it's a better use of time. And if you understand the value of going to caravan and agent networking events and things like that, you know, I hear a lot of agents go, why do I want to network with my competition? And that's not what you're doing. You're networking with other people who have a different database of clients, and the collaboration between the two of you is what gets the deal done. So this, for me, this is where I see the value in uh, this type of platform is you're cutting out, it's actually making you more productive. And to be able to put together deals before they hit the market is super valuable for a lot of people, especially if you are in these competitive areas. We have a fairly large team in Rancho Bernardo area, and they work, Carmel Valley and stuff like that. And it is very, very competitive in those markets. There's just always a lack of inventory. And so if you're networking with other agents there, um, you'll probably be able to unlock some deals that aren't even hitting the market. And the other value add I saw in this was, what if you are networking with agents who specialize in certain types of buyers, such as VA? And maybe that's the bulk of their business, and that's the bulk of the deals that they've done over their tenure in real estate. Well, if I have a buyer who is wanting to do, find an assumable loan, that sounds like a pretty good source for me. Like I'm going to want to talk to that guy and say, hey, look, I have this buyer, they're willing to pay a premium, but they only want to do the loan assumption on a VA. So you want to be talking to the right people for that rather than trying to scour data sources and things like that. You just go direct to the people who specialize in those types of sales and clientele, So you're cutting out a lot of work, I think, and you're going direct to the source of where the business can be.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really great point, Travis. And I think that's where when I speak to especially agents who are on their kind of sunsetting career and they're, and I'll speak to them and say, this is perfect. This is what I do. Like, this is exactly what I do for my business. And I'm 51, not to tell everyone my age, but I'll tell it just for perspective. I remember the days of the MLS book. I remember the days where you would go to a realtor and you'd say, what do you have? What opportunities do you have? Because you were interested in buying a home. Now, that was me raising my hand. But when you start to think of yourself as, let's say, a Goldman Sachs investment banker, which really do the exact same thing you do for your clients, they just do it for companies in terms of responsibilities. You bring opportunities to them. They look at you with a different lens. You're no longer just a person saying, hey, pick me from a very crowded field. And we know that everybody's using social. We know people are using video and you can do that marketing. But if you come to them and say, hey, I've happened to have a buyer in mind, not a fake one, but a real one, because I've spoken to a colleague and you know the scenario and you know the situation, you're de-risking that deal. You're showing them value and you're not spending any more time than you would smiling and dialing and doing the Tom Ferry or Mike Ferry, make 500 phone calls a day. It's hard. And I think most people burn out because it's not a very fun way to get to a point of business. But whether you're just starting out or whether you've been in the business for 10 years or you've even been in the business for 20 years, you have a sphere of influence when you start, you have it when you get massive. And as you continue to grow, it's hard to stay in front of that sphere. So this also helps those people who have larger spheres or even database. I'm not saying never to buy leads, but if you buy them, you want to be contacting them with purpose because they're probably not the only person that bought that lead. They've probably been sold to multiple agents. So you want to come to that person with something specific in mind. So how are you going to do that? Well, here's the opportunity to do it because your other network of agents, the ones you like to work with, are going to bring you buyers, hopefully. And that's what we're trying to do.
Now, can you do like a reverse prospect on here? So let's say I'm gonna go on a listing appointment
Mhm.
and I'm going against a couple other agents, and I want to show the homeowner that I have access to potential buyers who are looking for this type of home because you can put a buyer's needs in here, can't you?
Yeah, that's exactly what you do. So when you come into the platform, let me share it again with you. That goes back into that. When you're searching, we're going to connect you to the agent. So let me pull it up again real quick. Just give me 1 second. Here.
Because for me, going, to a listing appointment, you're looking at everything you can to show value to the homeowner, of why they should pick you over the other ones. And so if I can show them, hey, pull it up real quick on the reverse search, hey, um, I am in communication with these agents. They have buyers looking for this home. I can talk to them right now, or this is the number we'd be looking at that have interest in this type of home.
Right. So I could literally look here for buyers who have, for agents who have buyers with searches inside that zip code. And just like I showed here, just San Marcos. So you can see here, we have a number of agents who have buyers that I were like, oh, I should contact Laura, maybe Molly, Jeff, Kyle, Myra, whatever. These are agents who have them. The more specific I get with my criteria, it'll filter those out to help find those buyers. And what's been really fascinating is I've been working with actually a handful of agents from the Dan Beer team. You probably know them. Maybe not the specific agents, but you may know Dan Beer. They were literally all sitting in their little spots at the office, all aligned next to each other. And I think we got 4 or 5 of them on at one time. And it unlocked literally like 10 deal opportunities amongst them within the first 24 hours. And that's the whole purpose. Like, oh my God, I put in my database. I didn't realize I had a buyer that was looking for a property you knew about because they're not active, right? And so I wasn't thinking about, I was always asking, well, what do you have that's active? He's like, well, I don't know. But now he had purpose to call his homeowner up and be like, hey, we just matched. This person is pretty aggressive. They're looking for it. In fact, I have a couple of agents who are hard and heavy looking for properties in Oceanside and Carlsbad and F. So they're like, I just can't find what I'm looking for my client. Is there anything else I have out there? I'm like, come in here, set them up, put your buyer searches in. And so this is your way of going in there. And now before you go to your appointment with your potential homeowner, you're like, not only do I have a specific one in mind, but if it doesn't work, I also have 5 other agents or 10 other agents with 22 active searches in this Whisper marketplace looking for it. Right. And so you do have the ability, I can contact the agent. It's critically important for us to make sure that this is only for agents and not for clients, because we don't want homeowners feeling like, oh, it's a public database. Why do I need you? I can just go do it all myself. We're trying to re-empower you by making you the go-between.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions on I guess functionality or how you can use this? Um, Go ahead and throw them in the chat and we'll answer those as we go. So how would how would someone get signed up for this if they wanted
Yes.
to test this out?
So this is really a super simple process. You can create an account at whispernetwork.com. I'm going to put it in the chat. It's $25 a month, no contract. So for 25 bucks, you throw your stuff in here. We would upload your sphere of influence or your database. So if you're using KV Core or Lofty or uh, uh, Follow Up Boss or pretty much any CRM. I know we talked about Sierra Interactive and I need to look into that, but very simple, or through an import, you have the ability to just mass upload everything into the system. You'll set any buyer searches. Now, if you're with KV Core Lofty, if you're using those platforms, a lot of times or home buyers will come searching your site and they'll put in a buyer search. All that information will get ported immediately over. And then you just log in and you go to that dashboard and you see where they get matched. We match on a real-time basis. So it's like every hour, I think, it's going to continually search the market for new opportunities and bring them to your attention. So the more active you're in the system, the more your friends are active in the system, the more agents you continue to invite, the more matches you're going to get. So we really encourage folks to do that. And that's it. Create an account, 25, load your database and see what happens. And you'll get them all within, usually it's runs at the top of the hour. So if you did it before the end of the hour, that's it. But I'll put this in here. Is that clear to anybody? Does anybody want to potentially take advantage of this now? And if they do, I'm willing to give you another $5 off and make it 20 a month. To get people to go at it right now, and we'll do that for the first year. Again, there's no contract, so it'll just be that price point that'll carry over.
Yeah, that'll be good. So I do think it's useful. I think it's a great way to show some value in what we're doing as realtors. This is our job to go find properties and put deals together. This is at the core of what we do. That's what we do, right? So I think this tool really is useful for putting that together. Obviously, you have to use it. You need to put your database in there. You need to make those calls to those other agents. You need to make calls to your current database and say, I have a potential match for you. Are you interested? How serious are you? You know, so if you have a large database of buyers who have, saved searches set up and they're just kind of passively looking for stuff, you start talking off market to them, that generally piques their interest, because they know that when it hits the MLS, it's probably too late, and they're looking for a deal or whatever. So, or they're looking for something very, very specific. And when you start talking to the right agents who have those types of properties or have sold those types of properties in the past and know that the homeowners would be interested in selling should the right buyer come along, and they don't want people trouncing through their, $8 million house, then this is a good network platform for that. So, yep. You can go to, so Tom put his personal email in there. If anybody needs it, let me know. We'll pass it along. This replay will be up in the back office and on the channel as usual. And we can put the information in there as well. Tom, Thank you for coming on. If we don't have any other questions, or
Um,
if you want to go ahead and field more questions, I'm just going to cover something real quick, kind of piggybacking on this, unless you had anything else to add in, Tom.
no, I think that's right. I'd love to here, I'll put my email in one more time. And I know you have it, so feel free to pass it along to folks. I just put in there. It's just Tom at Whisper Network, and we do a typical Silicon Valley tech spelling of Whisper. It's WISPR. Sorry, all the other versions of Whisper were taken. So we got a unique spelling, but whispernetwork.com. Again, I'm happy to give personalized onboarding to anybody who's like, I'm not sure, I'm not super techy, but I really want to take advantage of this. We can get you going in like 10 minutes. It's really a no-brainer. I will be here. I gave my number there. There's my email. Reach out to me. I definitely have time to do it. And I can definitely help you get, running right away. Again, it's $20 a month. There is no contract. You get that for the first year if you use the promo code I put in there, which I think will be good for another day or two. Yeah, let it rip. And then again, if you don't like it, you can cancel in a week and you're only paying $20. So, I'm
Yep.
not buying people. I believe in the value of this and I want this to become the new way that we do real estate, and we start helping agents really think of themselves as premium providers of service, and do things the way we all want business to be done.
Yep. I
Cool.
agree. So we